The thing I liked about Steve was after he was really announced as the owner, he came in to talk to all the employees, basketball and business side. So we probably had 100 people in the room at the time. And Steve comes in and he's just dressed in khaki slacks and kind of a polo shirt, and he's got no entourage. He just had, I think, one person with him. And he gets up to the microphone when it's his turn to talk, and he says, look, first of all, I'd like everybody to call me Steve. And here's my email. I mean, and he was just such a regular guy. He stayed behind and he talked to every employee, shook every employee's hand, and just spent like a minute or two with everybody. So you could see it was going to be a whole different approach with Steve, because Sterling, that wasn't Sterling. He didn't want to mess with the people, quote, below him, you know. Steve's been just a fantastic owner. You know, he's very competitive. He's relentless to try and win a championship. He has the resources to spend money where it's needed, and as long as he sees a reason that makes sense to spend it, he's been great at spending it. And when you have an owner like that, it really makes a difference, you know, because you can look at some situations where an owner didn't re-sign a guy because it was going to cost too much money, or you know, Steve's going to build a state-of-the-art stadium there that'll probably get finished in a couple years because he wants his own place. You know, he doesn't want to be the third tenant in another building. So I think there's going to be things that he's going to do that players are going to, and people who work there are going to love. He wants to be informed. Now, he asks a lot of questions, but he basically leaves the day-to-day running of the team to Lawrence and Michael, and you know, Doc's obviously involved and Jerry West is involved. But the major decisions on trades or free agency, Steve's very involved, asks a lot of questions. You know, he's gotten smarter as an owner. When he first came in, there were a lot of things he didn't know, but he's a pretty quick study. Yeah, so he never, you know, he never tries to stand in your way and just dictate. He wants to hear what the ideas are, what the strategy is, and then he'll weigh in. And there's sometimes he'll say, no, I just don't want to do that right now. And you know, he's the owner, so he gets to do that. But overall, he's been a terrific owner. The only thing we really had a discussion of was one night when we went out to dinner, and this was when we were trying to develop our culture with the basketball side. I said, what was the culture like at Microsoft? And his answer was interesting. He said, well, you know, we didn't really have one. He said the problem was we had the coders over here. Steve was a salesman. He said we had my guys in the sales over here. We had this group over here. So everybody had their own little culture. So he didn't come from a place that just had one culture, but he didn't have any objections to trying to do one because we were such a small group. But you know, his was, we just had different cultures. The coders were different than the salesmen. You know, they didn't mix and stuff like that. I scouted for them 1 year after I'd been out, and then I took the general manager job for the next 3.5 years, and then Lawrence came in. Lawrence became the president, and so he was president, I was sort of the GM, and then he took the GM job. I became his special advisor, and then we hired Michael Winger to be the GM, who's done a terrific job there too. So, and the whole approach was simply trying to get better all the time, trying to get more talented people, trying to get people who had specific skills that we could use better than the ones we had. So it was a lot of fun. We really developed the first couple of years with Doc. It was tough, but like I talked about today, we really started to develop a culture there that they've continued and is great at this point. So they're in a really good position in so many areas.